Cannon is not here. Brandon Butler.
Here.
Richard Edmondson is currently absent. And Jim Power. Here. Let the record show that we do have a quorum, so the meeting can proceed. Item 3 is approval of the agenda. Any correction or additions to the agenda? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve.
Move to approve.
Any questions? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item 4, approval of the minutes from May 4th, 2015 meeting. Any additions or corrections to those minutes? I have 2 corrections on there. The first is that Parks Superintendent Brian Bissell was not at that meeting. He was absent that night. And then Roman numeral 3 on there, it says BOC mandate, and then they spelled my name wrong. So, just correcting that. If there's no other corrections or additions, I would entertain a motion to approve as presented. Approve.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item 5, general park updates by the park staff.
We have our fall program schedule out. We have lots of great things that we're bringing back, like the Walk in the Woods, Wildlife 101, yoga, nature strollers, things like that. And we have a couple of new things, so you can pick up your copy at the Nature Center or online.
Thank you.
I just had a couple things. One is the slide that was broken on the little kids' side of the playground in the park has been replaced. The young man that broke it paid the cost of the replacement in full, and that was requested several months ago by the BLC to front that out of the Bowie Park Fund, and it's since been repaid. And the through the grant with Middle Tennessee that the Friends applied and received, we've had a new water fountain installed outside the outdoor restrooms. We've had caps for the posts in the playground. They ordered those, and we got those in already, so those will be going on soon. And then the handicap swing we received on Friday, so that'll be going up soon.
And a sign, right? One of the signs in the little kids.
And the sign.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know a lot of detail about the
Yep.
sign, but
Yep.
I know that did.
Thank you, Brian.
That's it.
I just want to say thank you to the Friends for putting it in, receiving that, and getting all the grants that they do for us. It does not go unappreciative. I think that's all we got.
Okay. Next item is old business, 6.1 mandate by BOC for park system blueprint. Item 8, discuss and take action to adopt the Parks and Recreation 5 to 10-year plan template, which will incorporate the park system blueprint, the park development chart, Bowie and Veterans Park Master Plan, and other things. Just a little history on this for folks. When I first got on the Park Commission, I really didn't know what I was doing. But I moved forward and asked questions, talked to people. I got a feel for things. And then we got the mandate by the Board of Commissioners that they wanted a blueprint for a 5 to 10-year plan. And there was no instruction booklet that came with that. So all of us here put our heads together, and first we came up with a chart. And from the chart, we came to a very nice information document that will eventually get on the website. But I kept feeling something's missing. There's something missing about a master plan overall. And then with all the discussions about the budget, having no money, you had some people that said, well, we can't do anything because we don't have any money. But planning planning in the future is important right now. So I came across this template, and it was on the Tennessee Department of Environmental and Conservation website. And I started to read through it, and I go, yeah, this is it. We don't have to call it a mandate anymore. We can call it the master plan. And it gives you a step-by-step way to accomplish that, and the reasons and the purpose for it, which I thought was really good, because I think if you give people a purpose and a guideline, people will get on board with that and move forward. So with that, I have a little PowerPoint presentation that gives the purpose, the reasons, and then when we get done with this, the commission, we can discuss this, and then I'd like to adopt this and move forward with it for in future meetings, and take this and adapt it to our situation here. And I think it'll be very positive. And if you can hold on a second, I'm going to narrate this.
There he is.
Testing. Here?
Hey.
I hear you fine.
Hey,
Sorry I'm
Rachel.
late.
That's okay.
You already called the roll?
Yes.
Oh, sorry about that. I left home without my recorder. Had to
Uh-oh.
turn around and go back and get it. And that's what happens when you get in a hurry. Have to get it on now. Yeah, the only item.
Okay, it's called the Parks and Recreation 5 to 10-year plan. And now this is a template, so there's things within there with other names and dates and stuff, but the general concept and how to proceed, I think, is just excellent. The purpose, it's surprising how often communities spend a great deal of time and manpower and money to meet the needs of their citizens, only to find a few years later they have failed miserably. Why? Because the community failed to do two very basic things. Set some realistic goals and objectives. Two, develop a plan to reach them. Planning encompasses looking forward and developing things in advance and not basing decisions in a reactive stance. And I think we've lived that, and it's time to move beyond that. Planning saves money and prevents headaches and heartaches for a parks department. Plans should and always can be revised and developed with flexibility in mind in order to meet ever-changing conditions. I think that's an important statement to make. Three key ingredients in developing a successful parks and recreation plan are: number one, technical knowledge. Know the current conditions and utilize expertise from the area of parks and recreation planning, administration, maintenance, landscape architecture, engineering, and programming. Two, common sense. Wow. Every planning and design decision needs to have a justifiable purpose or function. Three, creativity, the ability to brainstorm alternatives and solutions and choose the best one. Guidelines to using when starting a long-range planning process. Recreation and park systems should be established to meet total community leisure needs and should provide equal recreation opportunity to all as far as possible. Planning should be based on a comprehensive and thorough inventory and evaluation of existing public, private, and commercial facilities and programs, including public schools. Planning should reflect the needs and wishes of all citizens and should involve them in data gathering and decision-making process. And for a lot of you in the audience, that's why we've chosen to go to subcommittees of the Park Commission when folks step forward and want to help out in specific areas for a short term. They don't want a long-term commitment. So I think that's great that we're drawing in more citizens to help out and get more feel for what the citizens are wanting. Each recreation area should be centrally located within the jurisdiction that is planned to serve and should provide safe and convenient access for all residents. Insofar as possible, facilities should be equally distributed throughout the major areas of the city or county. The design of each park or recreation facility should be handled individually to ensure that it is adapted to the needs of the specific population it serves. I know that we've done the park surveys here, so there's a start there, and there's a lot of information in that. Also, the county has done a survey, and I'm hopefully they'll share that with us too, from the results of their survey. Beauty, functional efficiency, and encouraging physical activity are major goals of planning, with convenience and economy of maintenance being important added considerations. Government should have a long-range plan for site acquisition in conjunction with the government's comprehensive land use plan to ensure that properties are acquired while still available. How many of you thought of that? Every effort should be made to achieve space standards through acquisition in advance of anticipated needs, even if limited financial resources delay actual development of facilities. I never really looked at it that way, but you know, the land's going to keep getting more expensive here, and it's going to be less and less, so we have to plan for that. Properties acquired should be held in perpetuity, protected by law from encroachment or division to non-park and recreational uses.
In other words, a conservation easement?
Well, it's just so that what you have doesn't get converted. And yeah, I would say something like that, or other means. Recreation properties should be designed and developed to permit the fullest possible use by different groups at different times on a year-round and around-the-clock basis. So just because you like a dog park and someone else doesn't, it's still serving the citizens. Public school buildings should be designed for the fullest possible community use through reciprocal agreements and operational coordination between school and park and recreational authorities. Now, here's the format for the plan that they recommend using. Now, I put the major items up there like introduction, and then I'm going to read. I hope I'm not boring you, but I think this is good stuff. Under number 1, the introduction, it says to examine the history and present situation of the parks and recreation delivery system in the community. Cultural information, population projections, social economic characteristics, and land use and zoning ordinances. Section should include information on transportation systems available and accessibility within the community. Again, these are items that they're recommending that you put into the plan. And this is what I was saying, that all we have to do is take these items, these numbers, and fill in to Fairview's situation. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We don't have to hire a landscape architect or some professional. We can do it in-house. I really feel we can. Number 2 is review of the mission statement. Determine if mission statement still accurately reflects the agreed upon purpose. Well, we need to come up with a mission statement. That's a must. And goals of the park and recreation delivery system that has the support of the local governing body. Make any revisions using citizen and staff input. If there is no mission statement, one should be developed. It says consult Appendix A for guidance, so that's in here later on. I didn't put that all up on here. Item 3 is recreation inventory and analysis. Any planning study that examines only the facilities operated by a public recreation and parks department today and ignores the facilities and programs of other public, voluntary, private, or commercial agencies will fall short of fulfilling its potential. Planning must examine all potential resources and must place recreation and parks within the total spectrum of social, educational, health, environmental, and transportation concerns. Under that also, they're saying evaluate existing recreation facilities operated and maintained by local government and other private facilities, or churches, or girls' clubs, boys' clubs. They're saying, you know, to make that all into the city unit of parks. Each facility is listed by location and acreage, then evaluated based on age, physical conditions, safety, Americans with disability, compliance, usage numbers, maintenance costs, revenue, and if adequately serving the purpose or mission of the Parks and Recreation Department. Evaluate existing recreation programs and leisure activities conducted by the Parks and Recreation Department and the community through private organizations, civic fundamental decisions and actions that shape and guide what Parks and Recreation Department is, what it does, and why it does it.
I think you missed a page there, Ron.
Yeah, I think I did. Sorry about that.
I was reading along with that.
Yeah, I got it right here. Examine types of program, athletic, cultural, aquatic, health, fitness, environmental as examples. Attendance numbers, cost of program, revenue generated, instructor quality, competing programs, and capability with mission statement, compatibility with mission statement. Are programs accessible both physically and economically to the members of the community? Number 4 is the staffing reviews. In many cities, playgrounds, community centers, and housing projects and other recreation facilities are either understaffed or not staffed at all. A continued emphasis on developing facilities for their own sake without serious preliminary consideration of how they are to be operated results in ineffective planning recommendations. This section evaluates current staffing levels of facilities and programs. A current organizational chart is included to examine responsibilities. Staffing review includes administrative, maintenance, programming, athletics, aquatics, and the part-time and seasonal staff. Years of service, current pay, scheduling shortages, our current staff levels allowing the department to meet the mission of the departments. Item 5 is the budget review. Include current year budget and examine any trends and changes in the last 5 years. Evaluate if the budget adequately provides for the operation of facilities and the delivery of recreational services that is compatible with mission of the department. Examine existing funding revenue sources and current capital improvement projects. Item 6 is maintenance, equipment inventory, and review. This includes a current listing of maintenance equipment and evaluation of age, condition, current maintenance cost, and depreciation values. Number 7, natural habitat or environmental review. Include current conditions of streams, wildlife, trees within the park system, and endangered species of plants, animals on the National Heritage List or federal or state government should be cited. Include status and condition of any wetlands. Include aerial photographs. Item 8 is identify needs and issues. Any program of land acquisition and facilities development should be based on the listing of needed facilities. You follow up on your inventory. And more importantly, the particular priorities and needs of a given neighborhood or community. Also by examining current available facilities and the nature of the present and anticipated population, it is possible to project recreation needs in specific detail geared to the unique needs of the people served. This is first accomplished by utilizing information done through the current review of conditions identified in section 2 through 7 above, entering into a strategic planning phase. Strategic planning is a set of concepts, procedures, and tools and requires a comprehensive view of what may be important than that which normally guides decision making. It is important that strategic planning is constituted as a vital component of long-range planning. Strategic planning is a disciplined effort I think I lost my place again here.
Fundamental decision.
Yeah, the fundamental decisions and actions that shape and guide what Parks and Recreation Department is, what it does, and why it does it. Identify internal strengths and weaknesses in your Parks and Recreation Department. This should be done through staff citizen Parks Board evaluations and through public citizen input meetings. Include results or reports from public strategic planning meetings and needs assessments and surveys. A description of the public input process should accompany this section. Consult Appendix B. It's got that information in there. Identify external factors of opportunities or threats. An example of an external threat or challenge is rapid increase of residential and commercial development that surrounds parkland and facilities. Roadway development can be an opportunity that provides better access to facilities or more traffic that is not conducive to natural environment. It is no longer feasible for a single department to move ahead unilaterally in planning its own facilities. Recreation and park departments may receive financial support from the government's Land and Water Conservation Fund, the local Parks and Recreation Fund, and the Recreational Trails Program, all coordinated by the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation, Recreation Services Division. These competitive grants are given higher point status when projects are submitted that show intergovernmental cooperation. In addition, many smaller communities coordinate their efforts with neighboring communities, townships, or county departments to avoid overlap of facilities. In many cases, cooperative planning and operation of the facilities has been successfully undertaken by neighboring governmental units. Similarly, it is essential to plan closely with other departments such as school boards, highway departments, health departments, or police departments in developing facilities. Identify and prioritize future issues and needs. The next step is to take the information found in identifying strengths and weaknesses, opportunities and threats, and prioritize which are the most important to address in the future. Again, this should involve input from staff, citizen, park board members, and the public. 9, the action and plan requirements. Develop the strategy and recommendations needed to achieve each of the identified prioritized needs and opportunities for the future. Each goal and objective should be listed in an action strategy for implementation assigned that includes roles of recreation providers, capital improvement plan, facility development, improvement and expansion, resource management, maintenance, cost analysis, which includes future operational cost and revenue generation. Accessibility and connectivity, funding sources, grants, fees, charges, partnerships, sponsorships, and local tax funding, staffing requirements, school facility use, communication and awareness, publicity and marketing, zoning and land use, outside consultants. Each goal and objective with the action strategy should have a time frame formulated. This need not include a specific year, but could, for example, identify year 1 through 3 of the 5-year plan to implement. If grant funding is identified as a strategy for implementation, then the specific year would need identification for this goal or objective. The time frame is necessary to promote action rather than deferring indefinitely any action. Provide maps indicating current facilities and planned future development or land acquisition. Next is the approval and adoption process. No long-range plan has a chance of implementation without approval and acceptance from the mayor, the council, parks board, and the public. Include in this section the approval process and the adoption of the plan. And lastly, monitoring the plan, a system for monitoring the implementation of the plan that evaluates progress, effectiveness, and any obstacles is necessary once approval comes from the local government citizens, including the monitoring system intended as the evaluation tool to appraise progress. Thanks for enduring that, but I wanted you folks, and any of the audience out there too, to understand that this is the direction I think that this board wants to move forward with. And I'm hoping that they'll approve this template as a guideline for the future. It's a lot of work, but I think we've got a lot of things done right now with our Bowie Park Master Plan, mostly done. The Veterans Park Plan is in the process. And so all of this can be pulled together and this adopted to the city of Fairview. So if there's any questions or if any discussion you want to have on whether you like it or don't like it, or
No, I mean, I like it. I mean, I think with what we already have, you know, putting some kind of plan and range, I love a time frame. You know, realistically without get pushed to the wayside, but, you know, I think if we all had a common goal, tried to figure out what was realistic and what was a realistic time frame, it would be helpful.
any other comments? Richard?
I think there are certainly some good suggestions here. I think the intergovernmental cooperation and planning is a great idea. But I also get the feeling we're kind of moving in circles here, going around in circles, because this is the sort of same comprehensive master plan we were moving toward earlier, when all of a sudden we changed directions earlier this year and decided to, I don't know, go for like a 2-page report with a flow chart or something like that. So now it seems like we're moving back towards the comprehensive master plan that we were working towards all along. So it just seems to me kind of like going around in circles.
Well, the way I look at this, and like I said, I've been thinking about all of this coming together now that as I gain more experience and ask more questions. We have a mandate that come down from the Board of Commissioners, and it says 5 to 10 year blueprint for everything. Whatever happened in the past, it's happened. I look at this, and this fits with that mandate, or that request from this commission to do a 5 to 10 year blueprint. I just think this is easier to follow. It's real easy to get sidetracked. I think you all have to agree with that. It's easy to get sidetracked. But we have a master plan for Bowie. We have a master plan for veterans, but we don't have an overall. So it's,
That's kind of what we were going towards,
Right.
was the overall, and, you know, I'd drawn up a mini master plan for Veterans Park as well as
right.
the out
No,
parcel.
you did a good job on it.
By the way, did we ever decide to sell the out parcel? Is that gone now, or?
We can get to that later.
Oh, okay, all right.
So what you're saying is that you agree to go back to the master plan?
Well,
Or
yeah,
you
I mean,
don't.
I'm saying there are definitely some good ideas in this. Like I say, the intergovernmental, you know, different departments of the city government need to strategize, and I think that's a good idea. That's something we didn't have in our noggins before when we were putting together the comprehensive master plan before, so that, I think that's a good addition to the game plan. But it just seems to me like we're, you know, I look at this, you know, comprehensive master plan that they've got as an example here in the book, and that's very similar to what we were going for before.
I saw the flow chart more as a way to get us focused so we could do something big like this. That it was the idea of you're grabbing all these pieces because it included the interdepartmental and working with other agencies. That's just the way I saw it, that the flow chart was a way to get us focused so we could do something bigger like this.
Yeah.
That's the way.
And I still
So
see-
I think it fits
Right.
together. It's the next step.
And this is talking about even maybe having a cooperative effort with another neighboring city. And that's,
And we can, as
you
it
know,
says,
maybe we could get together with Centerville or somebody like that.
as it says in here too, you adopt it to your situation. It doesn't have to be exactly this, but I just like it because it can keep you focused on the future. We've got to take and continue to focus on the future here.
Well, and one thing about it is, I think we need a proactive mindset, not retro, and or like, oh no, here it is, what do we do? So, I mean, I like the thought of getting our concepts, putting it together, moving forward, how are we gonna do it? And, you know, I do I so hear what you're saying, because if you've been on the board long enough, you feel like we've done some circles, but it's not really negating anything that's necessarily we've done. It's just now this is the bigger picture of how we put it together and incorporate some new, even broaden horizon as far as new thoughts and stuff like that.
The parks development chart that we have will still continue to move on because it's very easy to follow that. You know, I have to say, from my own personal, I've only been here 2 years. I don't care what happened in the past. I don't want to hear, we tried that and it didn't work. We need to we need to be proactive about things, and we got to try some new things. If the state of Tennessee puts this on their website and says that they recommend it, it must be successful in a lot of different areas. So I'm positive. I think this will help us. We all have to work together. Let's focus and keep moving forward.
Well, I understand what you're saying. I don't think in any way you're meaning to be negative.
No.
It's just, how does this
No.
fit?
No.
You know, I think this is, you know, it's something as a board may still just kind of have to figure out, how does this piece fit into this scenario?
Right.
But having a guideline, you know, having time limits, those
Yeah,
are
I
all
mean, no,
things.
I'm definitely
Yeah.
not intending to be negative. Like I say, I think there's some great ideas in here. And if you're asking for a vote on whether we want to adopt this as our blueprint, is that what you're saying?
Well,
I would
as a
support it.
guideline template.
Yeah, as a template, okay.
Yeah. Any other comments?
But what do you see different in this that say what we don't already have going on?
The one thing that I see, that in any of the plans that Richard's typed up, and I've read every one of them, I think, or if I haven't, it's, none of them, not one of them, talks about cooperating with anybody.
That's true.
None of them.
Yeah.
And
It was
to
all
me,
strictly the
if
Parks
there's
Department.
nothing but people trying to get people to cooperate together, if that's the only thing this brings to our discussion, I think it's worth going forward with. I mean, I'm on a lot of different boards and a lot of different groups and stuff, not necessarily because I like all the people that I'm in these groups with, or because that I've got a real desire to be on the Chamber of Commerce in Fairview. But I figure sometime, we've got to start crossing these bridges. And we got to quit acting like there's the BOC and there's this deal, and these people don't help these people because of, we got to take the becauses out. And if this town ever wants to grow, that's got to go away at some point in time. I've been spending a lot of time down in Centerville working on some other projects with the chambers down there. And the one thing I see in Centerville, they don't care who comes up with the idea. If it's a good idea, they do it. They've got a banana pudding festival down there. The week that we've got Nature Fest, you know who we're competing with? We're competing with Centerville. They got an arts show down there and a music festival, and it goes on from early in the morning till 10 or 11 o'clock at night. And I know this because of the fact I've been out trying to get people to come to our Nature Fest, and we're competing with our neighbor city. So the chambers in these two cities have to decide on who's having the second Saturday and who needs to have the third Saturday, so we're not competing.
Yeah.
And it's that way, I think, even in the city of Fairview, on small issues that, well, did the Friends do it, or did, is this History Village, or is this that? It can't be that. It's got to be Fairview. And if somebody wants to help us, we've got to be willing to reach out. And I mean, I know that you recently went to the county and I don't know, maybe some other people went too, but,
Mr. Hall did.
but you know, until we started going to the county meetings and showing up, we're still just gonna be what we've always been. And I think there is a great opportunity in Fairview to grow. And not just to grow houses and population, but to grow a different way of life here.
Yeah. Well, and I also, when you say neighboring counties, I even thought of when it was being read about, we've got partnering with the county. I mean, we have a great asset, and then also we can utilize some of their services. So to look at the bigger picture would definitely, and I think we are on some things, but I don't really think in the park setting we've, really considered that because it was our park. But as far as recreation, there's a lot that if we just sat down at the table and had these conversations every once in a while of this is going on here and sat down with a master calendar, I think that we could see, we could help promote each other and utilize the parks more.
When I attended the Greenways and Trails Forum, they had folks there from Chattanooga and Knoxville, and they were talking about their river walks, and they were just saying that where you put greenways, where you put trails, the people love that today. They come, they will pay higher prices for homes, they'll pay higher prices to be close to it, they'll pay higher prices to live in a city that's walkable. So that's what I see, because we're a blank canvas here. That's the way I look at it. But, okay, that being said, I would entertain a motion that we, as a commission here, adopt this template and use it effectively with our other documents and come up with a master plan that coincides with the request from the BOC on the 5 to 10 year mandate for a blueprint.
Move to approve, to adopt.
Second.
We've had the discussion. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. And thank you, audience, for enduring all of my talking, but I think it's important to understand it.
What would be our action to go forward to start implementing? Or
Good point. Well, I think we can move through. Well, one of the things I think might be to come up with a mission statement. Everybody be thinking between now.
Seemed like we did
Yeah, we
If
did.
you
approve
did-
one, or at
if
least
you-
we
if you
talked
did,
about one.
find it.
Yeah.
And we'll
I'd have
bring
to
it
go
up,
back
because
and
there's
look
no
through the
sense-
minutes.
No sense reinventing the wheel.
Is there a mission statement for each one of the parks, or is there a mission statement for?
I think it was for all the park. I don't think
yeah, I
it was
think so.
very,
Yeah.
if I
See,
could get
that, one thing
service, I could,
one thing I've seen too is some of these things probably have been done, we just need to resurrect them.
yeah.
Like,
Well, and even if it had been done, it doesn't mean with the new board
Right.
and direction, since it didn't, really be, it wasn't finished, that we could probably do that.
I know Mr. Hall shared with me the land use plan, the comprehensive 2020 plan, and I made a copy of it, and I've been reading through that, and there's a lot in there about the parks, and it's amazing because this was written, back in 1999?
Yes, sir.
And there's some good ideas in there, we just need to, they've
But
already been done.
It's always amazing to sit there and see that some of the things are the same.
Right.
And it hadn't changed that much. That's what I always find the most interesting.
So I would say, between now and the next meeting is be thinking or trying to find out about the mission statement. Let's build around the mission statement and then start, because they tell you in here how to develop the mission statement if we don't have one. And then the next is this strategic planning process, citizen input, task force worksheets. And Jim?
If you find the mission statement, are you gonna look for it?
I'm going to look for it, yeah.
If you find it, could you email it to us all?
Yes.
And then, one of the things, if we like it or don't like it, at least we could come in and
I'm not sure we
critique it.
actually
Yeah,
approved
I'm
one,
not seeing it. I just did a search.
but I do seem to recall that we talked about it at one time. I don't think it was formally approved, but I'll go back and look at it.
But even if you could find it, it would be a start.
And I would say if you can't find one, then, the little worksheet here, maybe we should try to fill it out for the next meeting, so we,
Well, and I just saw, we had one from our strategic planning, and Commissioner Vassell probably remembers that, but it was a city mission statement. That might be interesting to just pull out and see what that statement is versus what we're doing. So I'll see if I can pull that up.
Yeah, let's work on the mission statement at the same time where we still have the Parks Development chart with their little boxes, and we're still trying to extract information there. We've got subcommittees that are either launching or going to launch. So that will be input coming in. So I see a lot of information is going to start flowing, and it already is. I mean, you folks have done a great job in the past. I love the way you write up your master plan, so I'm glad that you're going to be a part of this. Thank you. So moving on to item B, continue to discuss and take action on the park development chart. The one thing I wanted to bring to the commission too is that we have a lady here tonight that was interested in the dog park. So I guess I'm going to come to the commission and ask for your permission to extend out to a subcommittee on a dog park. I think, was there about 3 or 4 of you that are interested in that? And so, again, I will be meeting with them. It's not that they're going to be by themselves. I will be meeting with them to give them guidance and let them know the flavor of what we're doing. And
Can I also volunteer to help with that?
sure, I was just going to say, anybody that on the commission that wants to volunteer.
When are you going to meet?
The lady, what's it, Tina? What's her name? Yeah. She,
That's not me, that's the
yeah,
lady that.
she's on vacation right now, and when she gets back, then I'm going to get with her, and we're
Okay.
going to come up with dates, so I'll
Right.
get with you on that. But you know, I'm excited that these folks are stepping forward, and I saw on Facebook people who started talking about dog parks that I've never seen on there before, and the enthusiasm. We've got a lot of talented people here, a lot of people that have some good ideas.
Yeah.
We just need to give it boundaries and give it a purpose and a mission.
They got great dog parks in Franklin.
Yeah. And,
You know, you just start talking.
I haven't seen the
to
one in
people.
Nashville, but I have seen the ones in Franklin.
You start talking to people, and I talked, this was months ago, when I was at the Y working out, and the guy on the treadmill next to me just happened to be a traveling veterinarian, and I said, you know, I live in Fairview, you know, which, you know, when I retire in September, I need a project, so I was like, that's what I'm gonna do. And he said, for labor, a good way to get things like free labor, all you have to do is start talking to people. Is there a lot of Eagle Scout troops that need projects like this to get their Eagle Scouts? You can, you know, you can tap things like that. And then I also am an amateur grant writer. So I love to write grants, and I'm writing grants right now for get school supplies for the kids. But I mean, I can write grants and get money for
Great.
parks.
Excellent.
We can definitely use that kind of help.
will you send that out whenever you get up to date?
We've
Yes.
done, in the past,
Definitely.
we've
If I'm
done
in
some
town, I'll
stuff
come.
as
Okay.
a city. We've used, we were under contract with somebody at a time, but as things happen right now, we don't have anybody we utilize. That is a skill that we could use a lot. So we'll just definitely have to talk and get you with Mr. Hall and see, yes. I'm sorry, what did you say?
But another thing, as far as your plan that you just did, I moved here from Phoenix in 2006, and I had, in my 40s, my husband gave me a master's degree, an MBA, and I needed to, for my thesis, I needed a business purpose, and I needed to have, you know, a null hypothesis, do my surveys, everything else at my cost. And I worked for a very large employer that didn't have a business use that I could use. So I lived in a very small town north of Scottsdale. and I went to my town, and I said, do you have a business reason or a business purpose that I could use for my thesis? And that's what I did.
Wow.
So if, you need someone to do a mission statement, a null hypothesis, all these things that look like a thesis that you had from your template, you could do a small search of educational facilities and see if anybody would be willing to help you and use that as their master's thesis. And that would be free.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what we want.
Has no money.
Yeah,
Agree here.
yeah. I agree.
Okay, so I'm looking for a motion to approve a subcommittee, a dog park subcommittee from the Park Commission.
So moved.
Second, any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. On the park development chart, the question was brought up about the out parcel. It's still in place, correct? Okay, so it's,
I don't think it's under parks anymore.
yeah, okay.
It hadn't been sold.
Huh?
It hadn't been sold.
It hadn't
But
been
it's
sold.
not under parks anymore.
No, no.
Been voted to go back to Public Works.
Public Works.
So we can cross that off of that parks development chart then, correct? Commissioner Bazell, is that correct? Okay.
Are there plans to sell it? We've decided to keep it.
Right now. That's what I think that was mandated to be OC passed down. It also goes for public safety as well as Public Works.
Okay, well, I took up quite a bit of time on item A on there, so we'll dig into the development chart in more depth in the next meeting also, along with the statement, mission statement. So item 7 is new business. There is no new business. Item 8 is next meeting date. Now,
October.
our last meeting, it was voted on to skip September because of the holiday. And I don't know if you still want to change that or keep that. So the next one would be October. I won't be able to make it at the October meeting, so unless I can call in.
We'll let Jack know.
Yeah. So what date in October is the first?
Well, I mean,
October is the 5th,
yeah.
first Monday in September is Labor Day. Is that what you said? No, September?
Yeah, we would have to,
Yeah.
we'd have to do the 14th or something, another date after that. That one's yours.
This one's mine.
Yeah, it's got your name on it.
Oh, it does?
I didn't see your name, I just
So
read.
you
Oh,
want
this
to
is Alan
move it to
Basell.
another date or
Here
just?
you
go.
electronic copy.
Well, just
Yeah,
to
that
see
can
what
be
the
done.
board wants to do. Like I said, we voted on it already once to skip September, so we'd have to rescind that, I believe.
Well, I mean, we could have September and skip October, or move it to another Monday, or another day. That, I guess it doesn't have to be a Monday, but Tuesday night, there's a tree board
Right.
meeting here. Are you gone that whole week?
Yes.
See, the next Monday, we have to dig some water.
Yeah, I'll be gone till like the 13th.
Okay, and then the planning. So we could do it like the 19th of October, which is a Monday.
Anybody else have a problem with that?
19th of October?
Yes.
What if we, is there a date on the end of September?
Yeah, we could do that week and
And do something at the end of September and sort of be September and October.
That would be good.
That,
too.
that would be,
I think that's good because once we got in October, I started thinking, I wonder when fall break was and all that. It's gonna be busy for, them. We could do that 28th, the Monday, September 28th.
And skip October then?
Uh-huh.
I mean, that's
September
right there.
28th, 7 p.m.
That's right on the fence between them anyway, so.
Right.
It'll just throw us all off, but I think it would.
Yeah.
We can get it in our calendars with a nice reminder, make it.
Okay, so I entertain a motion to meet on September 28th at 7 PM.
So moved.
Second.
And we will not have a meeting in October then.
Wayne, I didn't see anything on my calendar. Did you have anything? Yeah.
Is there a second?
Yeah, I second.
Okay. Any questions? Any more questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, under 9, under announcements, I have an announcements from the Friends of Bowie Nature Park. The Friends will hold their annual fundraiser, during Nature Fest, a silent auction. They have received quite a few donations so far, but more are needed. There are a few big ticket items, including some exercise equipment and an antique hand-pieced quilt. This year, the money will purchase what the staff requested, 4 to 6 canopy tents to replace the old ones, 20 folding chairs, and wall-mounted shelving for the Nature Center storage room. If you want to donate, visit the Friends website for donations. So I think let's get people to donate and let's ring the cash register on that stuff and keep growing this, and then eventually we'll get a new nature center. Item 10 is public comments. I just want to remind you that it's comments and it's not question and answers. If you have a question on anything to do with the Parks Commission or what we're doing, you can email the park superintendent or the director. You can also email myself, and we had that happen last week. Not happen, but it came up where I got an email on a question. I went to Mr. Hall and Keith within 24 hours, and we got an answer. So you don't have to wait till the next meetings or ask questions in the meeting, because it's really not fair to ask staff questions and they're not prepared, because they might not have the correct answer or the total answer. So I think it works out well this way. If you do send a question to them, copy it to me, because I'll do a follow-up on it for you. So if there's any comments, we'll be glad to take those right now. Eva?
About the auction, what we're really short on is things that would appeal to men. There's a lot of men sitting around this table. The items don't have to be brand new, just as good as new. What that is, I'm not quite clear. But look around your house, guys. You got two of something, or you replace something, or we'll try to sell it. That would be good. And also, I'd like you to repeat that got crossed off the park development chart.
The out parcel? No, because it's not in the park system now. It's put back into Public Works. Any other comments? Park Commissioner comments? Brandon?
Nothing tonight, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Bissell?
No, sir.
Mayor Carroll?
No.
Richard? Okay, if there's no other comments, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. We are adjourned.
Did you all,
Brian wasn't here and Ron's name was spelled wrong.
Yeah.
His name was spelled wrong and
Take care of that baby, Brandon.
yes, sir, I'll do it. Hopefully I'll have her house soon.
Parks and